It's a new year and a new monthly update. Welcome back, Book Dragons. I'm really glad you're here with me today. You know what time it is. It's time to talk about all the things that I did in December and the things I am planning to do in January. So it's a new year. I'm so excited for what's to come, and I'm excited to tell you all about the things, about books I'm going to be reading and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right to it. I want to get right into this update. So here we go. Eyes are on. Here we go. So December was a pretty good reading month for me. I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish. I read The Labyrinth's Heart by M.A. Carrick. This is the final book in the Rook and Rose trilogy. I really enjoyed the trilogy overall. There are some things that I wish had happened a bit differently, some things that I would have liked to see, but overall, it's an awesome trilogy, and I'm so glad I read it. I'll probably be doing a review here in the near future, so keep your eyes out for that. I did that as a buddy read with my friend Angie over at Angie the Bookaholic, so make sure you check out her channel, and we may have a live discussion talking about the Rook and Rose trilogy at some point, so stay tuned. I also finished the Edan trilogy by Philip Chase. I read Return to Edan, that's the final book. And I have to say, guys, this was a really great series. I really enjoyed my time reading it. There were some really great moments, and Philip took some chances with a few things that I feel like really paid off. I'm just really proud of Philip for getting his series out there and doing such a fine job creating this world, and I highly recommend reading the Edan trilogy if you have not already. I also read Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This is the first book in the Arc of a Scythe trilogy. This was my patron pick for the final quarter of 2023. Danielle over at Bookcara picked it for me, and I'm so glad she did. It ended up being my favorite book of 2023. And that was a tough choice, guys. Really tough, because I read a lot of good books in 2023, but that one just stood out as my favorite book of the year. If you have not watched my top 10 books of 2023 video, I will leave a link in the cards at the end. You can check that out, okay? And then the final book I read was Sparkling Cyanide, classic Agatha Christie novel. I really enjoyed that book. It was just a fantastic read for me. I love Agatha Christie, always have, probably always will, and it was one of the best books of hers that I have read. So I'm really happy that I read that, and I'm really happy with how the final month of the year turned out for me. So we are going to talk about what I am reading in January. And as I mentioned in a previous video, my plan is to only schedule 4 books every month in 2024. Now I may read more. Some months I may read less depending on what's going on, but my goal is going to be to read at least 4 books a month. Here are the books that I am planning to read. The first one is Shadows of Self. This is book 2 in Mistborn Era 2 by Brandon Sanderson. I loved Alloy of Law, and I'm really excited to finally get around to continuing the series. So very excited about that. I'm also going to be reading The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin. That is the second and final book in the Great Cities duology by N.K. Jemisin. I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm expecting great things with the final book in the duology. Well, editing Chaz here again. Just wanted to let you know that Filming Chaz forgot to mention one book that he will be reading in January. And that book is Sibylla Byrne, Book 4 in the Expanse book series by James S.A. Corey. And that will be a buddy read with Carl from Geek on My Sleeve. Now, you might be wondering, that's only 3 books. I have a 4th book, but I don't know what it is until right now. We're going to find out because I have the Stein of Power, right here next to me. This is the magic stein that will tell me the final book that I'm going to be reading. It is going to be a physical book off of my bookshelf. So let's see what I'm going to be reading. And let's see, gonna jiggle these around here. I am not looking. All right, so I've got the winning book here. Let's see what it is. Ooh. And it is, I don't know if you can read it. Let's see if you can read it right there. American Psycho. So I am going to be reading American Psycho this month. And oh, you know what? Hang on, let me grab it. Let me grab it. Oh. Ooh. There it is, guys. There it is. I have it. I have it. So I'm going to be reading American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. This was a gift from my son, and I'm really excited to read it. I've never, well, I take it back. I've seen part of the movie. I've never seen the whole thing. So I really don't know what to expect with this. I know it's kind of sort of based on a true story, so we shall see. I'm excited to read this. And now we're going to move on from the books of January to talk about some of the shows and movies I watched in December 2023, okay? And the first one I want to talk about is that we started watching Blue Eye Samurai. We haven't quite finished it yet. We're getting close, but we haven't quite finished it. And so far, it's a really, really great series, guys. The animation style is fantastic. The story is amazing. I'm really loving this show. It's definitely for adults, so just be forewarned. It may be animated, but it's not necessarily for kids. It's not a family show, but it's really, really good and definitely something you should check out. We also started watching the Percy Jackson series, and I'm quite impressed so far. They've done quite a good job of adapting it. Yeah, there have been some changes, but overall, it's way better than the movies were. I'll give it that. And I think it's a much truer telling of the original story than the movies did. So I'm very impressed. Good job, Disney. I know Rick Riordan is actively involved in the production of it, which makes a huge difference. So, yeah, very impressed with that. I finished season 3 of The Witcher. And I have to say, guys, I really enjoyed season 3. I've loved all 3 seasons of the show so far. And I will probably continue watching. I'm not sure what I think about Liam Hemsworth taking over from Henry Cavill, but we'll see how he does. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And I want to continue watching the show and see where they go with it. At this point, guys, I still don't know if I'm going to finish the Witcher book series or not. There are some things that left a poor taste in my mouth that just make me wonder if I should just stick with the show. So we'll see how that goes. I also finished season 2 of Foundation, and boy, guys, I am really, really impressed. This is one of the best sci-fi shows on television. It ranks right up there for me with The Expanse and right up there with Battlestar Galactica, the newer Battlestar Galactica. I'm just so excited to see where they go with this. I haven't read past book 1 of the Foundation series, so I don't know how much has changed at this point in the show, but I'm very excited to see where it goes. It ended on a banger. I need more of this show. And season 3 has been greenlit, so we are getting a season 3 at least. I know that for sure. My daughter and I continued watching Doctor Who. We finished the Capaldi series, and we are getting ready to move on to Jodie Whittaker's series. So, and Jodie Whittaker is one of my favorite doctors. She's actually my second favorite doctor behind David Tennant. So I'm really excited to rewatch the first 2 seasons of hers. then watch her final season, which I still have not seen. That's going to be brand new for me. So that's definitely going to be something I'm going to be continuing in the month of January, watching more Doctor Who. We also watched Godzilla -1 in the theaters, and wow, guys, oh, that was such a good flick. If you like classic monster flicks, if you like Godzilla, you are missing out if you have not gone to see this yet. It is fantastic. It is in Japanese with English subtitles, but that doesn't deter at all from it. It is such a fun ride. It's just a fun film. There's some epic moments in that movie. I was just blown away. So definitely go check that out. We also watched Elf. That's one of our traditions. Every year on December 21st, we watch Elf, and that's such a fun movie. It's always a classic. Just really have a good time watching that movie. We also watch Polar Express. That's another one of our traditions. We always watch Polar Express on Christmas Eve, and we have hot chocolate. And this year my daughter made snickerdoodle cookies, so we had snickerdoodle cookies and hot chocolate, and we really got our sugar on that night. So that was a lot of fun. So glad that we had that opportunity to watch that together again. And then my daughter and I watched A Christmas Carol with George C. Scott. That's my favorite version of A Christmas Carol. I try to watch it every year, although that doesn't always happen, but he's my favorite Scrooge. Just such a command performance, and had a blast watching that. So, and that's everything I have on my watching list. Let's go ahead and talk about what I've been playing and what I'm hoping to play in the month of January. So what I've been playing was, of course, Pokemon Go. That never changes. Maybe I shouldn't even add that to this list because I'm always kind of playing Pokemon Go. I got a chance to play Shredder's Revenge with my friend. That's the Ninja Turtles video game. Just a classic side-scrolling beat-em-up game, and I absolutely love that game. It's one of my favorites. I got a chance to play a few rounds of BlazBlue with my son. It's similar to Mortal Kombat, a similar style fighting game, and I got to fight him a couple of times in that game. We also played Mortal Kombat 1 a little bit as well. My son played it more than I did, but I got a chance to battle with him as well on Mortal Kombat 1. That was a lot of fun. And then we also played Unspeakable Words, the board game. It's kind of a Scrabble mixed with Cthulhu type game. Absolutely one of my favorites. It has been for a long time, so we got to play that. And we also got to play this game called Stupid Deaths, which, if you haven't heard of it, it's kind of like Apples to Apples. You read a scenario from history of someone who died a really stupid death, and you have to guess whether or not it's actually real or if it's a made-up death scenario. And whoever loses has to stay behind for the Grim Reaper to possibly catch up to them, and the person who gets it right gets to move forward on the game board. So it's a really, really simple game, but it's a lot of fun, and I love that game. Oh, and one other game I forgot to tell you about was another side-scrolling beat-em-up game called Dragon's Crown. My son found it on a PlayStation and thought I would like it, and we also checked that out, so that was a lot of fun. So in January, I will probably continue playing Pokemon Go. I'm hoping to get back to playing some new Super Mario Bros. U, continuing with Link's Awakening, and maybe I'll actually get back to some games like Jedi Fallen Order and Final Fantasy VII Remake and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which I have not played any of those in quite a while. So I'm hoping to have more time in January to play some video games because I'm only reading 4 books in January. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. As far as live streams go, I will be starting up Chasm Friends again in January. Stay tuned. I will be making an announcement of who my guest or guests are going to be. So that's something you can look forward to as well. So guys, I think that is everything for my monthly update. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know some of the stuff that you did in December and some of your plans for January. And until next time, guys, make sure you are reading more books. I'll talk with you soon.